All right.
Is it like story time where you're gonna read to us?
No, we can just read.
Recording. I can put my bird away if we're recording, otherwise she's gonna be screaming in the background.
Okay, so 4 class reps reading the patch notes. This is version 5.3.0 for the PTS Harrowstorm DLC. You guys want to read the intro? What is this? You'll be required to re-download the entirety of the game for PTS. I know a lot of people have been really looking forward to this one. Like 30 gigabytes, that's a lot.
That's huge.
That's a huge chunk.
Yeah. Saving space, though, is a huge deal. It's not fun that you have to re-download, but it'll be worth it in the long run, I guess, so.
Well, it says you do not have to delete anything manually. Just let the patch run. Oh, okay, so it's going to delete for us? I don't understand.
It's auto-patching, so it's going to remove what you don't need.
Okay.
Yeah, it keeps all the voice files and stuff, so if you do uninstall completely, it like adds another 10 gigabytes you have to re-download.
Oh, rip. So it's just better to have the patch actually, or the patcher do its thing?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Alright, let's see. So PC is going to get its template first, because I feel like PC always gets fucked over on PTS, I don't know why. So, let's, 2 new dungeons, Ice Reach, Unhallowed Grave. Cool. Looks like we get a unique body marking, unique weapon style, several titles. And you guys want to look at the new item sets? I haven't looked at these. I only saw the first item set, and I was like, that seems pretty OP.
Yeah.
That's like in a ball group. That's gonna be so.
Hades is gonna be included in group play for sure.
For PvP, yeah.
Depending on the radius.
Depending on the radius, I'm assuming that's
like
gonna be.
Yeah, it sounds like it's on a player. If it's like dropped on the ground, then it might be less usable.
But ball groups run like Worm Cult, and they run Sanctuary, and they run Ebon, and they don't really run Beckoning, but they run most of those kind of sets.
For PvE, some fights in PvE, I think this set's gonna be like pretty strong.
I can't imagine that it would be bad for like at least casual healing in dungeons, because you would basically be able to have a free 1k hot that you don't have to add. I'm sure there are better ones for PvE though, for like more competitive stuff.
I feel like this will see some play in BGs or like no CP campaign maybe. If it's like a good set, I guess, like the aura, like Reborn mentioned earlier.
The cooldown's really long.
But it's 100.
Well,
it's
10
12
seconds duration.
Well, yeah, it lasts for 10
like,
seconds. So yeah.
It's like a 2-second cooldown.
It's like 83% uptime.
And it's not, it's not a percent proc either. It just says when you heal, you gain it. So you're not playing with it.
But is it based off overheal? Is it like true heal or is it overheal like SPC? I guess that's my question. Like,
I don't know. I just most things that say when you heal mean like a true heal, where they have to have health missing first. But there's no really way to know without checking, I guess.
Next set, Titanborn Strength, medium armor. What is this? Penetration, weapon damage, max stamina. Adds 110 weapon damage and 1,240 physical weapon penetration. The bonus doubles. Okay, when you are under 75% health. The bonus quadruples when you are under 50% health. What? Is this?
I hope. I hope raids now have to balance to 49%. That's what I want to see.
Feels like it's encouraging. I don't know. What do you think, Glorious?
I think for PvP, it's an interesting set. I think that New Moon probably will still keep its spot since it's a flat value, and it's the same for the same reason. I think it's really cool. I think there's a good trade-off that you won't have it full all the time, but if Ancient Dragon Guard isn't super popular because you have like a flip-flop scenario, and so really, do you want to have only 100 weapon damage for a 5-piece when you're attacking someone? Probably not, but it's cool. I like it. I think it's well designed.
What about like Stamcrow Bombers?
Could work, yeah.
Could get your health low and then hit that synergy.
Oh god.
I guess. I mean, maybe like Gank Blades who run balance to get like low health and then have that. Maybe, I don't know.
It's
cool.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
And the 2 and 5 combined are basically Spriggans, which is really meta for PvP at least. So, which is pretty cool.
Can you imagine a bomb blade with this? Maybe. Oh no, actually it's medium armor. But
Yeah,
I guess you
it's
could
medium,
do
that's
like
the only thing,
jewelry.
like-
And, wait, you could do jewelry and weapon. Oh, never mind.
Felt weapon
Never
damage.
mind,
You
yeah.
could. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe like a Genk Nightblade that is in stealth and is able to spell sim down to low health and then get the proc.
Yeah.
Combine it with, was it Pelennals that makes your weapon and spell damage equal?
Yeah. Oh god.
Wild.
That's some wild build you got.
It's a lot of work to get to 49% health,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Granted, 5k pen is insane, but
All right. Next set. What is this? Baney or Banal? Baney's Torment. Heavy armor. Adds 4% healing taken, max health, max stamina. When you taunt an enemy or nearby enemy, well, I don't know why it's near. I guess there's a range to a tether. You tether to them for 5 seconds. While tethered, you apply Major Maim to your enemy, reducing their damage done by 30%. And you gain Major Vitality, increasing your healing taken by 30%. The tether is broken if the enemy moves 8 meters away from you. This effect occurs once every 14 seconds, so it's an active time of 5 seconds. It's a 9-second cooldown. This is going to be banned in duels, probably.
Oh yeah.
That's immediately what I thought.
Yeah, for PvE tanks, I don't think this will be. I don't know actually. I mean, it's hard to say.
I feel like it could be really good utility in Sunspire, like
maybe
that zombie fast strat, possibly.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to test it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that much better than Vicosa, which has an easier, like, it's only 2 pieces.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
And obviously, you get Major Vitality as well, which Vicosa doesn't give. But I don't know if that's going to be.
But also, it's not like you need.
Off there.
It's also like you don't need Major Maim all the time, as well, because like most of the damage and most of the fights and trials is like burst damage. Like the
Yeah,
warrior,
I could see it for like
So yeah, I don't know.
Cicisch, that's Sunspire. Maybe if you for some reason don't have a Warden tank on Samaj and Cloud Rest.
Yeah, but definitely banned from duels, right?
Oh yeah. Can you imagine combining this with that set that like halves people's damage when you taunt them?
Oh god. Okay, let's move on. Mother Planet. Oh, it's a monster mask from one of the dungeons. Okay, or monster set. Max Magicka. Okay, so not health recovery or some stupid shit. While in combat, casting an ability with a cast time or channeling an ability grants you a damage shield that absorbs 3,000 damage for 10 seconds. Effect occurs once every. So it's like no cooldown.
I think it's lackluster.
Yeah, I feel like Ice
3K
Heart.
shield once every 10 seconds. Yeah, Ice Heart's gonna be
Ice Heart's definitely better.
What's the number on Ice Heart? How big is that shield?
Oh god,
it's like 9k or something. Way better. I don't know what it is.
It's definitely better. And Ice Heart also gives you crit and damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah. I mean, I don't see the point of this set, to be honest.
This one confuses me a lot, honestly. And it's like a harder condition, right? Like, I mean, technically it's a 100% uptime if you're using channel skills, but that's weird.
Yeah, Ice Heart's
really like cast times.
Ice Heart's 20% chance on crit damage for a 9k shield without like CP, basically.
And it's every 6 seconds instead of 10, and it does some damage.
Yeah, that one feels like they forgot to add like the secondary effect note to the patch notes or something.
Yeah, they definitely need to improve this. Otherwise, it's like no one gives a shit about it. And cast time, does that include some certain ultis?
Probably.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay.
Why though?
I need, when I'm channeling meditate, I need a 3K shield that pops up every once in a while.
Every 10 seconds.
All right, so those are the dungeon sets from Ice Reach. The next dungeon sets are from Unhallowed Grave, Light Armor set, Draugr Grip, Max Magicka, Spell Pen. Okay, so far so good. Mag Recovery. Dealing direct damage to an enemy has a 10% chance to place a ghostly curse on your enemy for 6 seconds. Okay, cursed enemies take 530 extra damage from all your damage abilities. This effect occurs once every 6 seconds. So it's like Stagger from the Stone Giant skill, but on a set.
Only you, yeah.
Oh, only you. Okay, well that's, I mean.
Yeah, that's what I first read it, and I was like, oh, damn, that's going to be a healer set for sure. But then I saw it says only, your damage abilities.
All your damage abilities.
Yep. I think there's some space for it, maybe in like a PvP dot build, but dots are already pretty rough with cleanse and like 10%
plus it only
proc
10%
chance.
on direct damage, so dots won't proc it at all.
Yeah, so it's like a low proc chance. It can be cleanse, I'm assuming. 530 is a lot, so like a Templar with jabs technically would proc it on each jab tick if it would satisfy those conditions, but meh.
There's just so many better sets.
Yeah, exactly.
Next medium armor set, Aegis Collar. Okay. Weapon damage, stam recovery, weapon damage. When you deal critical damage with a melee ability, summon a lesser Aegis for 12 seconds. After 2.5 seconds, the lesser Aegis spins its blades, dealing X amount of bleed damage every 1 second. This effect occurs once every 10 seconds. What the hell does this mean? What's a lesser Aegis?
It's like
an air atronach?
Rocco 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool, I guess.
I think it depends on how this 5-piece procs, honestly, because if it's just like an undodgeable like 4.8k every second, that's pretty nuts. If it's not, then it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's a decent amount of 5k every second.
Yep.
For
a bleed.
That's probably the biggest dot.
It doesn't actually say how. Oh no, it summons it for 12 seconds,
it's like
and it's got like a 2.5 second. Yeah, so it's got a 10-second cooldown.
But it's a 2.5 second delay before it does anything, so it's like I don't think it's gonna be worth it in my opinion.
Yeah, that's.
PvE.
I'm curious because it says it. Yeah, it summons for 12 seconds. It's got a 2.5 second like wind up, and then it procs every 10 seconds. So I'm a little concerned that it's going to be like summoning a new one before the last one's spin is done, and then you're like doubling up on the 2.5 second wind up. Like the old, like the axe bleed used to work. Like you couldn't dual wield axes.
Yeah, this sounds weird.
Is it AoE since it's spinning? Is it single target? I think we need to test AOE. This one. But like, I mean,
yeah, I would guess AoE since it says it's.
That's pretty nuts, honestly. If it's a big AoE or if it's a tiny AoE or if, like you said, if the proc is like puts itself on cooldown. But like the other sets, like Icy Conjure is 2.3k per second for 8 seconds, right? So this could be nuts if it is easy proc. It is easy proc damage, but it works well.
I'm gonna assume it's about the same size as the Daedroth monster set. What was it? Fucking Maw, Inferno. Probably.
Yeah,
we'll definitely have to.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see on the PTS.
Yeah, PTS is at 5% right now, so it's gonna be a while.
I open my launcher.
I'm at 15%.
All right, heavy armor set from Unhallowed Grave. Let's see, Grave Guardian. This sounds interesting. Max stamina, not bad at all. Max health, not bad at all. Max health, okay. Summon a stone aura. Wait, I think while blocking, hardening you and your nearby group members, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 4,430. Huh. So
I don't know.
it's up as long as you're blocking.
Yeah.
There's no cooldown. There's nothing. It's not like
it's not a named buff, so it's not going to be.
It's gonna stack. It's gonna stack with major ward, major resolve. Yeah. It's I don't know how to feel about this set.
How many fights in PvE are you really like perma blocking though?
Not many fights, but it's like I don't know where I'm trying to think of where to use this for trials specifically. Maybe like this could potentially replace Eben, maybe, because I have no idea what the what's the radius of this aura. Is it like Lord Warden?
It doesn't say. It says nearby. So again, we'll have to get on the PTS and I'll stand around in circles and
maybe it's maybe it's a 28-meter radius. Like
if it's
if it's 28 meters, that's huge.
We're just gonna put it on the healer and make the healer block nonstop.
No,
it would
You're block casting now.
I already am
It'll
for
proc
MK.
MK too. Yep. See, it doubles up. It's perfect.
But I just don't know where you would need the resistances. I don't know. Just trying to think. I guess fights where you don't need Evan. Yeah, it is a lot. I'm just thinking to myself, can it potentially replace Evan? Maybe.
I was gonna say you could do it on the chickens, but as we'll see in a little bit, that's getting nerfed. So
Wait,
you're not gonna need. You'll see.
Spoilers, CC.
Spoiler! Wow.
But like this could replace places where you're running Meritorious, but again, it's gonna depend on how much your tank is actually blocking.
Right.
Yeah, Meritorious. You just have to. I don't know. It's got a lot longer cooldown and doesn't require permanent blocking. So
well, it's like a pre-buff before the fight,
but,
and then you switch it out, and that's it.
Yeah.
200 IQ there, yeah.
I mean, that's what I've been doing, but Meritorious also offers fewer resistances.
Right, it's like 3,000 less or so.
This is 7% versus like 3-ish%.
Yeah. All right, so monster.
What about troll tanks though and Zero?
Could be good. 5-piece though, there's probably other ones that are more competitive, maybe. I mean, like 7% isn't a huge deal when it comes to like some of the tanky troll sets, I guess, but could be good for groups too. I mean, sometimes if you want to like ball groups have people blocking during other group bombings, so could be helpful, I guess.
Okay, monster set. Hopefully this one is better than the other one, whatever that was. Kjalnar's Nightmare adds 129 spells, so they're both magic sets. Dealing damage with a light attack, but puts a bone stack on your enemy for 5 seconds. You can only apply 1 stack every 1 second, and Gina missed the fucking space between the period and the at. That kind of triggers me. At 5 stacks, an undodgeable skeletal hand attacks your enemy after 1 seconds. 1 seconds. Okay, Gina, what's going on? Knocking them into the air and stunning them for 3 seconds, or dealing 14,500 magic damage. If they cannot be stunned, an enemy that has reached 5 stacks cannot gain bone stacks for 3 seconds.
Is that on a cooldown for everybody or just you?
That's a good question.
It's probably for everybody.
I hope everyone has a separate.
Right.
Yeah.
This sounds pretty underwhelming.
I mean, they have a good track record of making things like that work, right? Like VMA, Destros, and.
What do you think about this one, Glorious?
I think it's interesting. I think that it has, at least from a PvP perspective, I kind of would never want to have them on the ability to be CC'd by this because it's kind of a waste of 15k burst.
Right.
I guess if you could line up a bunch of damage, it's the highest guaranteed explosion that you could stack up, but that seems kind of hard to manage. It seems cool. I mean, I'd like that it's not like just says does 15k damage every 5 seconds after light attacking, so hard to read.
I mean, so far both of the monster sets.
That would, it would be basically 14.5k every 8 seconds if you've got perfect waving.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head how that compares to like the current meta sets.
That's what I was wondering too. It's basically if your enemy can't be stunned, then it's just going to do that damage every time you do 5 light attack weaves. I do like how it seems like these sets are more do this and get this rather than do this and there's an 8% chance of getting that. There's I think one set that has a % chance, and that's the one I don't really like so far. So
so I guess I feel like in summary, both monster sets seem pretty underwhelming. I feel like a couple of the sets actually seem pretty interesting, like Titanborn, Hades Hearth, maybe Bane's Torment, Aegis Collar. I don't know. We don't know yet, I guess, because we haven't tested it. Brave Guardian, maybe. But other than that, the light armor set, Draugr Grip, and the heavy, what is this? The monster sets, and yeah, I don't know.
I think they'd need to tweak a few of them to make them more appealing. Like Draugr in particular, right? Like if it's a higher proc chance or if it's a lower cooldown, like it could be good, but right now it sounds like it's going to be hard to use, etc. So
I don't understand this. The monster mass from the Ice Reach dungeon.
Yeah.
3,000 damage
Yeah,
heal
it
for 10
seems
seconds.
so weak.
It's like,
yeah.
Okay, cool. No one's gonna farm that one. That's for sure.
That makes me think that they need to do something with that one. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, this is PTS week 1. They'll probably, I don't know, buff it by PTS week 3 or 4, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Alright, those are the item sets of the patch notes. Serial crafting. What? Okay.
Yeah.
More item sets.
Here we
Oh,
go.
wait. You have to, like, attune... You can attune these crafting stations?
Yeah, they said there were going to be some crafting stations in Zero.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so let's look at the item sets. Critical Riposte. This sounds interesting. Located in Blasters. Adds crit resistance, max health, crit resistance. Not too bad, I guess. When you take crit damage, you apply minor uncertainty and minor enervation from like the poisons to the enemy for 4 seconds, reducing their physical and spell critical by 13-14 and reducing their crit damage by 10%. An enemy can only be affected by your critical riposte once every 7 seconds. This seems a little strong.
I think ball groups will run it for sure.
Yeah.
I think it probably should be cleansable. If it is not, that's kind of nuts. Seems strong. I think it's a group set for sure.
It's probably cleansable. I mean, it's minor uncertainty and minor enervation.
Yeah,
so
I would assume
cleansable.
so.
Yeah. I mean, PvE obviously doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Unchained Aggressor, located in Bruma. Good old Bruma. Okay, adds max stamina, stam recovery, weapon damage, spell damage. Oh, okay. After breaking free, you gain Major Berserk for 9 seconds. Increase your damage done by 25%. What?
9 seconds is a long time. Most
What
things
the
you get
fuck?
Major Berserk are 3 seconds.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
is
it's got
this?
a long cooldown, but
Well,
it does assume that you can break free, which is
12 seconds. It's a 12-second cooldown. It's not terrible.
I think it's too strong, personally. I mean, like, we have a meta where people tank up with Fury and another set, and this is just going to be that other set where you just tank up and then get Berserk and flip and kill someone in 9 seconds.
Oh my god, the Dragon
I think it's cool. I also think it's funny that it's super biased towards stamina, like many of these like hyper damage sets are, but like, why do they even add spell damage with stam recovery and stamina? I don't quite get, but
well, obviously you need the max stam to break free.
True. True, you're right. You don't need your stamina to break free, actually. Keep reading.
Why? Oh, okay. Dauntless Combatant. Located in Cropsford. Adds max stamina, max health, max magicka, max health. When you're affected by a disabling effect, you automatically break free for no cost. After using this effect, you become winded and cannot...
yeah.
Okay. And cannot re-trigger this effect for 21 seconds. Huh. Okay, well... thoughts on this one?
I have no idea. It has to... I mean, like, you'd have to see how the break free interaction works there. I imagine it to be buggy.
Yeah,
lag.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, is this set actually gonna work? I don't know.
I also think that if you're... I mean, it's... The cooldown is long. If you have stam issues, like, reducing the cost of break free actually reduces your stam management issues significantly. Right. I wouldn't personally run it unless I saw that I need a stam management.
PvE, I don't think it's needed, but
is there like any PvE mechanic where you could see like a tank needing this? Probably not, right? Like only for like something where the boss stuns you and then one-shots you or something, but that I don't...
Most of PvE stuff like stuns, if as long as you're blocking, you don't actually get CC'd. I can't think of anything.
I'm curious if this... when they say disabling effect, is that like mechanics? Like, well, not just Reliquant, but like mechanics where you like pinned. You know what I mean? Like Ozara in Sanctum, the Cascade,
new portal meta,
the Hunter Killer channel in v5 when they're biting on you if you fail to block. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they mean by disabling effect. It's kind of interesting.
If it got rid of pins, that would be crazy.
That'd be hilarious.
Affected by... I mean, technically, disabling sometimes is roots too, which is...
you now have unlimited time for VSS portal.
Well, it's not a stun. because it's
has to be
free.
stuns.
Yeah, it has to be a stun
or fear or whatever. But
right, something you have to
weird.
break free out of. Pretty interesting. Okay. Oh boy, my favorite part of the patch notes. New dies. Okay, we're skipping that one. New achievements and titles. Stormfoe, Witch Hunter, Bonecaller's Main Sanctifier. Boring. Furnishings. More furnishings. Okay. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know why they keep adding new furnishings at this point, because it's like the furnishing cap is like fucking atrocious. I don't know. That's just personal opinion. But base game performance improvements, the fun part. I'm really looking forward to this year in terms of performance fixes. I'm kind of skeptical a little bit because, you know, we've all four of us here have experienced when they say they're going to fix something or something's going to improve, it typically did not improve or get fixed. Or if it did, it took a really long time. So I'm just sort of reserving my judgment until quarter two maybe, and seeing if that actually happens. I'm just gonna believe it when I see it, basically.
I mean, for me, performance matters more than pretty much anything else from a PvP perspective, in particular.
I think,
and in general. So
right, I think it's gotten so bad to the point sometimes that I don't care about content, and this is me primarily as a PvE. I would rather have the game work than have new content and have a broken game every patch. I don't know. That's just my thought. I don't know what CC or Reborn thinks about that.
No, I agree. Or when they release the content, that's something is already broken.
Yeah, well, like
it's
elsewhere,
really frustrating.
When every conal in the game was telegraphing wrong, like I almost quit the game at that point. It was like, how am I supposed to do any content when I can't even tell what's going to hit me?
I have not raged quite so hard as I have over the past like 3 months of doing hauls, because everything's broken in that trial. I mean, how long has it been with the Alkash bug on the trash pack before the spider?
Since Morrowind PTS.
Right, and they haven't fixed it.
Yeah, I don't know. But the performance improvements they're talking about here, I guess, is frame rate stability improvements have been achieved by optimizing several systems. This means you'll now encounter fewer drops in frame rate. Next to doubt, maintaining a smoother display of motion on screen. Please see below for a brief explanation. Okay, so let's see. Optimize multi-threading implementation to improve performance in situations with a lot of particle effects, projectile effects, weather happening at the same time. Weather. Oh, I didn't think about that one. Optimize specific processes that could cause spikes in resource usage and cause FPS drops. Is this like referring to CPU usage, maybe? Not specific processes.
If it's going to be working on multi-core support, that would be related to CPU performance, yes.
Parallelize the fixture update processes, allowing them to utilize multiple cores to improve over. Okay, cool. And looks like they optimize a couple other things like compass pins, terrain loading. Yeah, there's a lot of instances where nothing loads. Sometimes textures don't even load. So cool.
Get stuck running in place on a seam.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess the next thing is new PvP campaigns. And, well, this is typical, and I think this has been a huge pain point for a lot of the PvPers, with the whole lock campaign being at the top of the list and the non-lock campaign being like near the bottom or like in the middle of the list. But it seems from the order of which they put these campaigns on this patch note, it seems like the non-alliance locked campaign's at the top this time, and the lock campaign is third or middle.
Yep.
You think that'll help?
Be interesting. Yeah, it definitely will show for sure if people actually are playing it because they want the lock, or if they're just playing it because it's the top one.
I think this is a good. I mean,
I think it's a good.
I'm biased about wanting it, but I think it's a good experience. I think they had the locked first for a while, and now they're doing the opposite. And I think that's a smart decision if they want to lay it to rest one way or the other.
Yeah, I think hopefully this list is indicative of the order the campaigns will be. What should be like Grey Host will be at the top and Black Reach is at the bottom or some shit. Okay, new collectibles. Okay, whatever. New homes.
More things to do
new
with
homes.
those proofs. Yep.
Okay, new homes with shitty furnishing limits. Okay.
A built-in blacksmithing station.
Built-in? Wait, where? Where do you say that? Oh, what?
In Forgemaster Falls.
I wonder if it's like a unique station or some shit. Stunning waterfall, ancient statues, and a housing fit for prints. Okay. Master Rit furnishings. Just more furniture stuff. Crown store furnishings, more furniture stuff.
Elsewhere envelopes looks like is what they're gonna have.
Undaunted achievement furnishings, whatever. We'll just get to that later. Update 26 prologue questers. Anniversary Jubilee event. Oh, right, that's coming up. Okay, that'll be interesting. I'm scrolling down.
Oh boy, another outfit style.
Oh boy, another outfit style.
Jeffrey Paladin.
Cicisch order. The concentrated barrier is currently disabled.
Oh, wait, guys, you missed it. We can put cakes in our house now.
Wait, where?
All the anniversary cakes are now available as furnishing items. If you possess a memento version of a cake, you can now buy replicas of that cake to place in your home.
These are sold by the impresario for 3 event tickets each. I guess that's another way of spending event tickets. Okay, one thing I don't understand. Why do we have cap on event tickets?
I don't get it.
So you keep playing.
No, I don't.
So you buy things and keep playing, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's why.
Yeah,
right?
they just want, if you ever get an excess of tickets, you can't just save them up for when you actually want something. You have to spend them, and then that means when something comes around that you do want, you have to play to get more tickets.
Oh my god. Okay, well, whatever, I guess.
I'm gonna put these cakes around my shivering cheese.
Alright, I'm scrolling down. Let's see. You'll notice that some NPCs will be wiggling their eyebrows at you when you talk to them. They're not trying to be creepy, they just can't help it. Concentrated barrier, Cicisch order. The passive is currently disabled in PTS until it receives additional work to support the changes of block. I guess we should talk about the block changes. Like, what do you guys think about it? A lot of people seem skeptical of it too.
Is that detailed more in these notes somewhere?
Okay.
I haven't scrolled all the way down to see it.
I guess we'll keep moving. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't address the bug ultimate for Cicisch order. So it's I don't know.
Yeah, that has to be for player position, I'm sure, and that's got to be a hard thing to work through.
Okay, let's see. Monsters, whatever. Fang layer. Okay, whatever. They just fixed a gear drop issue. Audio. Okay, whatever. Monsters, dragons, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Moongrave Fane motif pages are no longer restricted. Often drop per day. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down. Okay, combat and gameplay, the juiciest part, the patch notes. All right, let's see how this is. Necromancer. Let's see what happens here. Due to many mechanical issues with the Necromancer's engagement with corpses and targeting of corpses, the following changes have been made in the hope to alleviate some of these shortcomings. Blast bones and its corpses will now last 6 seconds rather than 5 seconds. The Mage and Spirit Mender and their Morph's corpses will now last 10 seconds rather than 5 seconds. Improve the targeting area from all tether abilities. It will now link to the corpse closest to your reticle from a much larger radius. And there's a developer comment. The goal of these changes is to help reduce situations where tether abilities do not grab a corpse in the high combat load, as well as making it easier for Necromancers to feel in control of the amount of corpses on the field when utilizing their corpse generating abilities. Yeah,
I think this is smart.
Yeah,
easier tethers is good, right?
They didn't actually fix it directly, but they're like making it, I guess, easier to I don't know.
Actually activate.
Right, to play around with. There's nothing about blast bones yet. Oh yeah, they're on another road. It's like right below that.
I think that's such a smart play. Like, as long as it doesn't affect performance, I'm sure it shouldn't be a big deal. Like, an extra second or 5 will be significantly helpful for Necros. Not a fix, but helpful in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. Blast Bones. A skeleton from this ability and its morphs will now attempt to leap from up to 28 meters after a short delay of spawning in, rather than 15 meters. I guess I don't know. Fixed an issue where the skeleton appeared to jump backwards. when leaping close ranges. Increase the speed in which the skeleton jumps. Boneyard, reduce the cost of this ability. Oh, okay. That's a pretty interesting reversal. Considering
I
think that's just part of the. They said they were going to reduce the cost on a lot of.
Oh, right, the AOEs, right? Okay.
Yep.
I think that's a good one, actually. The fact that they are aware of the sustain issues in terms of using AOEs. Post update 24. It's definitely going to help the magic DPS a bit.
Yeah.
There was a huge disparity in sustain between stamina and magic characters. Bone Tyrant, Bitter Harvest fixed an issue where the major protection from this ability was not extending if you had Jorvol's guidance on, okay. Bone Totem fixed an issue where visual effects, okay, will now show itself when you activate this energy. Living Death, Reanimate fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs would not trigger events that required resurrections to proc. And that's it. That's the only class related combat notes
in elsewhere, because that's where Necromancers came from.
Fuck me, I'm an idiot. Okay, let's keep going. Fucking furnishings, dungeons and group content. Molag Kena is now correctly categorized as a data. I don't know how many times.
How long have we been asking
exactly.
for that?
Wait, I wonder. Wait, we already went on Frang Layer, right? And the Undead Menagerie is not undead. So the Prismatic Enchantment does not affect them either. Molag Kena was not affected by Prismatic Enchantment either. But now I guess she will be, because she's now a Daedra. Alright, Halls of Fabrication. Juicy. The Draining Shock ability no longer drains magicka of those affected by the dot. What the fuck? Okay. Hunter Killer Fabricants. Reduce the health of refabricated spheres.
And of the chickens. Yeah.
Reduce the damage from Cascade and Gore. No longer stun. What? What's
the point of having somebody kite it now?
What's the point of anything? I guess
just tether them. Who cares? Everyone's gonna be doing the 2 chicken burn strat.
Do they think like it's too hard? I guess. Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I don't know about this. Alright, let's keep reading. Pinnacle Factotum, reduce the health of the Pinnacle Factotum, Centurions, and Power Storms Conduits, okay? So they're basically nerfing everything. They're basically nerfing first boss, second boss.
It says that the shockwave, they haven't fixed, it doesn't say, at least they fixed the telegraph on the code, so it just doesn't stun.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess that's one solution, but that's kind of fucked as well. I mean, they literally nerfed the trial to the ground. Reduce the health of the adds on veteran difficulty for refabrication committee. Reduce the damage of the fulminates and grasping limb abilities. Reduce the rate at which seeker projectile. I don't understand what's going on here. I guess they think like, I mean,
they think it's too hard for the average player base. Like, even in my guild, like the mid tier, which should be able to do VHOF, we struggle with it a lot. Like, it usually becomes a 2.5 hour ordeal because people just like nobody takes anybody into the trial because it's too difficult.
I think even with these nerfs, it's gonna still be difficult for most groups. So, I don't know.
Because it's an actual, like, this trial has a lot of mechanics, and that's not gonna go away, but the rate at which you're gonna have to deal with them is significantly lowered by doing this.
I don't know. It's a little sad, but okay. I mean,
it is sad. I agree with you.
I mean, if they're gonna just do this based on the clear rate, I guess I sort of understand where they're coming from, because they did this for other dungeons in the past, like White Coal Tower, Imperial City Prison. Like in this, in Horns of the Reach patch or something, they just had these random nerfs to all these like random dungeons, and everyone's question was, well, why are you nerfing these dungeons in like a completely irrelevant patch? And their answer was basically because no one's clearing them, and I'm just like, okay. I guess whatever at this point. Alright, let's scroll down. Monsters. Okay, whatever. Black Rose Prison. Fixed an achievement. For King and Glory, that's Orsinium. Galarian Marsalok. Stranglers. Okay, so did they? No, never mind. Okay, they fixed a bug. For that one fight with the ads. Somerset. I guess also whatever. There's nothing really there of substance. Werewolves can now open thieves' troves. All right, guys, it's over.
No.
This video's over.
Yeah, there we go. That's what everyone wanted.
All
Thanks, Nefas. Best werewolf class rep.
All the werewolf players are like, what about us? What you got? The vampires are getting something. Okay, well, here you go, werewolf players. You can now open thieves' troves. Okay.
No, they can't. They can open them now.
Yeah, they can. They can.
It says fixed an issue that prevented them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, Frostbolt, Stonekeeper, please fix the fucking crash bug. Okay, they didn't fix the crash bug. This boss has a huge crash bug that
Yeah, oh god, I get so many reports about that too, and like, I don't know.
Okay, so
whole groups will just crash.
Maybe they forgot to put in the notes here. Maybe, I don't know. Hopefully they did fix it for next patch. Alright, combat abilities and gameplay. I feel like Glorious is just like sitting in the background, waiting until we get to the universal elements of the game while we talk about role-playing and furnishings. Okay, alright. Combat abilities. Updated block to be calculated more efficiently by the server, similar to Sprint. I actually like that they're giving it the same treatment as Sprint. I really like the new Sprint. Like, it's more streamlined. For mount Sprint and your character Sprint, especially in PvP, I feel like. And certain instances of PvE. Sets and passives that key off block or while blocking while bracing are now accurately update, or more accurately update, as you transition between actively blocking and not. Overall, the core block behaviors are untouched. Okay. We'll be mining the forums and other areas of feedback for bug reports, and make sure to provide feedback on this change if you run into any strange behaviors. So I guess they're not sure themselves.
I think that like the next 3 or 4 notes are about blocking, and I think that they're all for the better as long as players can't feel the changes significantly. Like if they had changed it and then you can't block cancel skills or whatever, that'd be really bad. But it sounds like they're doing it to just make it more efficient and convenient for us, which is good.
Oh man, my PTS is at 5% still. I can't wait. All right.
72%.
You lucky bastard. All right, fix an issue.
Faster internet.
Block. Okay, so it's pretty much everything up to this point is block. Let's see, where is it? Fix an issue where using a single target charge, leap, or teleport ability would not remove targets from stealth or invisibility while you had a detection potion active. Fix an issue where many dot effects were gaining the effectiveness of stealth bonuses, such as guaranteed crit strikes or stunning targets. Okay, that's a pretty good fix. Fix the many issues where sources of healing could be dodged or blocked if sourced from item sets or NPC abilities. A lot of people call me crazy when I told them that you can dodge roll healing from another player, but well, there you go. Bash now properly cancels channeled abilities when you do not have a target to successfully bash. Okay.
I think that's just seems like a bug fix at that point.
Right. The following thorns or damage return based abilities now have a 7-meter range under effect rather than infinite ranges. Spiked armor and its morphs, living dark snare, and spiked bone armor.
I think that's a big deal actually. 7 meters is nothing. And ranged characters are gonna have a huge advantage against DKs and Templars in particular, compared to what they are now.
Does that interact at all with DK's like increased melee range?
It's a good question.
Well,
so that'd be funny if it was like, oh, it's 7 meters. Oh, just kidding. It's actually 9 because they're a DK.
I don't know why they made this change. I really don't like it. I think it defeats the purpose of those skills having return-based damage.
7 does seem pretty. We'll have to see. Like, definitely let us know. But that's time. Go from infinite to 7. Like, I would have expected like
28.
I don't know. Maybe 28. Maybe like, I don't know, 15, 12.
7 is melee range, basically for this game. Like,
oh yeah, it is.
Why even have a skill that reflects damage to only work against melee? That's basically like, I don't know.
I guess the idea is if it's spiked armor and you're not anywhere close to touch the armor, it's not going to spike you. I guess I can kind of see the logic there.
Yeah, I see the roleplay logic, but like they already took away wings reflecting, which healthy or not, like that's just they're consistently pulling away reasons to play melee DK.
Yeah. Or DK in general.
Yeah. Living Dark, like, well now, okay, your enemy will be snared if they're right on top of you, but if they're ranging you down, they can still keep up with you. That's kind of confusing. Like, what's the roleplay element of that? It's weird to me that they did this. I don't know why, but probably for performance.
Does this include riposte? I've heard some things from PvPers about riposte having a large range from CP.
I mean, it is a return damage, but it's not listed there, so I'm assuming that they didn't affect that.
Okay.
Riposte is broken, by the way. It does like 6k damage crits. It's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's nuts.
We could ask if that's affected.
Yeah. Because that seems like why would they list those if it's not exhaustive? I don't know. That's confusing. Like spike bone armor, no one thinks about anyways, so I would assume that that's the ones they've affected.
All right. Summon pets from player abilities, such as the familiar. I almost said unfamiliar. Will now behave more consistently with other abilities when entering deep water. This means they will no longer deal damage or heal while in this state. Leaving deep water, return the pet to its default state, which in some cases may require the ability to be reactivated. Okay, so Daedra is scared of water. Fixed an issue where some leap and charge abilities could not be cast while immobilized.
I'll believe that when I see it. Honestly. Like there's so many skills that you can't use when you're snared. Like
yeah,
toppling, charge, etc.
Yeah, fixed an issue where many leap and charge abilities would move your character in odd ways. Yeah, okay, that's a pretty common one.
That's nice.
Updated the control and responsiveness of many charge and leap abilities so they reach fast-moving targets more reliably, as well as allow you to take action more fluidly after casting them.
I want to know which ones they're talking about, because that's a nice change.
Yeah.
Stampede, leap, shield charge.
Lotus Fan.
Chains.
Yeah.
Seems good.
Fixed an issue where many leap and charge abilities would fail to apply their effects if you began sprinting after activating. Okay, that's good. Okay, off balance will now properly update its size against the varying target dummies. Okay, update the off balance to behave more consistently across content in the game. I think this was okay. Off balance now lasts 7 seconds from player sourced abilities and sets. I was about to break the NDA. Off balance is no longer reapplied to a target for 15 seconds once the original source of off balance ends. This cooldown is displayed as a debuff on targets once they are affected. Off balance is no longer consumed on targets from heavy attacks or abilities. That's pretty cool. Note these rules may be irrelevant in some areas, such as tutorials. Thoughts on this one?
I'm still interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah. 7
Yeah, because basically that's making it so that it applies to PvP as well now.
Mm-hmm. You can get 2 stuns from 1 off balance attack cast, assuming they don't cleanse it. It's interesting.
Buffs
off balance stuns are nuts right now in PvP. So
yeah, I got fucked the other day by that. Buffs and debuffs, major and minor heroism. These buffs will now only grant ultimate while in combat. This prevents these buffs from keeping you in combat longer than intended. Is this some sort of like attempt to address the in-combat bug maybe in PvP?
Possibly.
Some instances of PvE?
I don't like it. I think that's a band-aid that actually makes less sense. Why are you wearing a set that gives you minor heroism?
I mean, to be fair, if you're stuck in combat forever, then you're still going to be granting ultimate the whole time.
True.
Huh. Alright, Dragon Knight. Okay. It's not Necromancer now. Ardent Flame. Dragon Knight standard fixed an issue where the first 3 ticks of the ult would appear to happen instantaneously. Draconic power. Dragon Leap will now properly animate its leaps on target regardless of its range. resulting in more overall reaction time for those on the receiving end of being DK dunked. That's pretty cute that they said that at the end. Protective scale, this ability now grants damage mitigation to abilities more appropriately described in the tooltip.
I'm surprised they don't have a note for whip here, because whip is going to be negatively affected by the off balance change. That's surprising to me.
I feel like DKs are, well, for PvP, I don't know.
Well, I mean, now you have a 15 seconds where off balance cannot be applied, means that you don't get to whip someone for the big heal once every, like, for 15 seconds, and that's a big deal, actually. That's a huge deal, and I'd be worried about that. I think Molten is the preferred PvE morph still, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Power Lash is going to be pretty bad if you have a 15-second cooldown on the reason to run it, so.
Earthen Heart, Molten Weapons, Molten Armaments, fixed an issue where the major brutality granted from this ability could fail to apply to group members in certain situations. Stone Fist. Okay, I think this is a pretty big one, because considering like it was a subject of a lot of criticism from a lot of people. Updated the ability to improve its visual storytelling and per cast impact. Stone Fist is now a 2-part ability instead of a singular instant mid-range attack. Activating this ability will now stomp the earth. Oh, okay. Causing you to deal damage in an area around you after a short cast time and generating 3 charges of the ability. Activating the ability again allows you to lob one of the earthen spears around you to lob an enemy from up to 28 meters away to damage them. The base ability no longer has a stagger mechanic, but instead, the final charge will stun the enemy hit upon dealing the damage. The Stone Giant morph, the morph retains, I was about to say, because there's no point running in as a DK tank if they're going to get rid of stagger. But this morph retains the stagger in the form of causing the targets affected by the ranged attack to take additional damage. Increased the damage taken per stack to 65 at rank 4, up from 45, so that's actually a pretty significant change. It's going to be even more important now for you to either have a DK tank run it or a stam DK in your composition. But this whole thing about the other morph, or the base skill at the very least, about the whole activating, it's like, what is it? It's like that skill, kind of, but not, it doesn't require a lot of attacks. Bound Armaments, or Spectral Bow.
Yeah.
It's basically just summon 3 rocks and just toss it 28 meters away to a person.
I think we're going to have to test this one, honestly.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. For sure.
PTS is still under maintenance, by the way. I just tried to log in.
So I've seen some people in the, actually, ironically enough, the forum thread for DKs, like, talk about how the range to Stone Fist is shit. So I don't know if this will alleviate some of the pain points for those particular people. Alright, Nightblade, Shadow. Consuming Darkness, fixed an issue where the synergy granted from this ability and its morphs could only be activated when a certain health threshold. Okay, okay, which was not previously communicated. It can now be activated anytime when you meet the listed requirements and are not on cooldown.
Still not very good.
Yeah, I mean,
still no removal of the cast time on
the healing morph. Yeah.
Soul Siphon, yeah.
That's frustrating.
Probably mention that again. Hopefully it could be maybe possibly worked into this PTS cycle, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, let's definitely make sure to mention that. Because it doesn't make sense that a non-offensive ultimate has such a... It's the exact same cast time as an offensive morph. Alright, Sorcerer. Daedric Summoning. Summon Unstable Familiar. Reduce the cost of the special activate of this ability. Okay. They're reducing the cost of certain abilities. Storm Calling. Bolt Escape. Fixed an issue where the projectile absorption field could persist longer than intended under certain circumstances. Again, AoE cost reduction, overload, fixed an issue where toggling this ability would dismount you, and updated many sets to properly key off overload in its morphs, where they stated they required heavy attacks. That's pretty cool that they're updating in-game tooltips to clarify the interaction between overload and certain things.
Wait, they didn't reduce the cost. Sorry, they didn't reduce the cost of combustion, did they?
The ground one, Ash Cloud.
Yeah, the Ash Cloud. Yeah,
No,
yeah, that's crazy.
Nor Path.
I don't think.
Or Path.
Wait,
Yeah.
Nightblade's not having sustain issues. That one.
No, but Mag DK is. So.
I know Mag DK is.
Well, no, Mag DK sustain is perfect. No, no, in PvE, I'm not talking about PvP. I'm sorry. For PvE, it's perfect right now because you're running poisons on the front bar as a Mag DK DPS, and the passive is giving you so much sustain. So it's like, I don't know.
Ash Cloud costs like 75% of your magicka, though. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, PvE, I don't know. Maybe, but for PvP, for sure, the cost is pretty insane. I don't know, maybe we can ask them about that as well. I don't feel like the Nightblade Twisting Path needs a cost reduction, but they did say earlier in that update 25 combat review thing, the post, that they're going to address all AoE dots, so it's maybe they forgot to mention in these patch notes.
I think they said many, I don't think they said all.
Oh, they said many? Oh, okay.
They said many.
Adric Spear for Templar, Spear Shards, okay, to reduce the cost. It will definitely, a lot of people who play Magplar stop playing Magplar for this patch because of the
sustain was too rough.
Right, yeah, compared to other classes you could play, it's too rough. So I'm glad they noticed that. Nova, this ability and Morphs now have a negative telegraph, so you can properly tell if the heavens are being called down to protect you or smite you. Well, this was, I believe, mentioned the other day, I think. Restoring Light, Sacred Ground, this passive no longer snares enemies in the area. Instead, it increases your block mitigation by an additional 10%. Okay.
I think removing the snare was smart. I don't know why they chose block mitigation, but I mean,
I guess they felt like they had to give them something, but I feel like 10% mitigation, is that I'm pretty sure that's going to be additive, so I don't know if that's a good thing.
We'll see on that one.
For PvE, it'll help the Templar tanking class, but for PvP, I don't know. That's a good thing, especially if it's additive. Warden, Green Balance, Living Vines, fix an issue where you could slowly turn to your target receiving the cast if they ran out of your field of vision while activating. You will now immediately snap to the direction and cast the ability. Okay. Winter's Embrace, Glacial Presence now increases your crit damage against enemies and crit healing against allies who have been recently affected with the shield status effect. Yeah, I feel like a lot of Warden players will be disappointed with these patch notes because it's like, well,
Q was happy.
Warden DPS.
Glacial Presence.
PvE. Yeah, that's the passive for
I don't know, the one person I know who Warden DPS seriously is actually pretty happy about this change.
Critical damage is a big deal, so I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't know how they stand in PvE, but sounds interesting.
PvE wise, Magden is like not really good. Like it's probably the worst. The crit damage increase against enemies, that's pretty good. But I feel like the whole thing with the chilled status effect, I don't know. It comes from one of their skills, but I feel like in general the Frost Staff needs a rework, in my opinion, for Warden Magden DPS to actually be more competitive. But right now it's stuck for tanks, which is I don't know. I had mixed feelings on that one, as some of you guys probably know. So yeah, I guess Glacial Presence, cool, but I think they could do a lot more for Magden in PvE. Alright, weapon, bow, poison arrow. Fix an issue where this ability and Morphs would cancel any previous cast ability, such as cast times or channels. Okay. Rapid fire, fix an issue, or ballista, which fix an issue where this ability could continuously break the caster's invisibility. Okay. Volley, reduce the cost, okay, AoE, destructive touch. Fix an visual effect issue, reduce the cost for wall. That's going to be pretty huge for obviously every mag DPS in PvE. Dual wield, Blade Cloak cost reduction Twin Blade and Blunt. Fixed an issue where the blade from this passive was not consistent with the proc condition. One Hidden Shield. This passive now more accurately describes what it does. Restoration Staff. Life Giver Morph. Fixed an issue where casting this ability would fail to trigger events that are required when applying a damage shield, since the ability automatically casts a shield. Two-handed Berserker Strike. Fixed an issue where it couldn't proc the Soul Lock passive. Okay. Reduce the damage done by this ability and its morphs by approximately 16%. To better account for the fact that it also ignores mitigation, so it's another nerf to it. Fixed an issue where the ability does not grant immunity to snare and immobilizes. Heavy weapons, they've I guess fixed another passive issue. Uppercut, Dizzying Swing, the form's favorite. This morph now stuns enemies who are already off balance.
Yeah, okay.
Man, who bug reported my onslaught doesn't soul trap?
Uppercut's confusing. I mean, people were complaining forever about it. Okay. Onslaught probably was a little bit too strong for a lot of setups. So, I mean, people are going to be pissed about that, but it might be for the better.
Heavy armor passive. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Or heavy armor skill line. Unstoppable Brute. The cost reduction of CC break for this ability is now properly linked to the major resolve it grants, and will increase in duration with bonuses such as Revol's Guidance, but will also be lost if a longer source of major resolve is applied.
People use this morph in PvE at all?
No, I use immovable. No, I don't know.
This one still feels like it needs more incentive to use, in my opinion.
Vampire, Drain Essence. The stun from this ability and its morph now occurs when the cast completes rather than when it begins. Okay.
That's a
good one.
It's a big change. People who are using it are going to be mad. People who are getting killed by 12k stuns are going to be happy.
It's such a good... it's just... I don't know. In my opinion, it felt too strong in PvP, but...
I think that for Vampire, it's going to be like, this is something that they saw people were concerned about, and they looked at it, and they probably balanced it a bit. We're also going to see huge Vampire changes anyways, right? So,
this is
maybe the skill won't even exist in like 6 months. So
maybe. This is like not the end all be all, so...
right.
They fixed various animation issues. Werewolf fixed numerous issues where light or heavy attack weaving as a werewolf would cost D6 in animation with other abilities, such as piercing out. Man, I'm such a good werewolf class rep. Alright, fixed an issue where you can stay in werewolf form indefinitely in some areas within trials. Okay, I don't know, I'm not sure about that one. Fixed an issue where this ability would fail to properly animate the leap. This will result in more time for defenders to respond to the attack as well. Mage's Guild, Meteor, Shooting Star Morph. This ability will no longer grant ultimate for hitting corpses. Okay, that's gonna be...
man, that's a huge change.
I'm surprised they didn't toss something else on top of it. That's just like a straight up nerf at that point, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is that related to the like get a million ultimate thing and they couldn't fix it, or?
Well, they said that was intended because we reported that a while ago. That's basically if you like pull, for example, HRC, you pull all that trash to where the boss is going to be, or vice versa, and you kill it, and then throughout the whole Rocco 2 fight, you can just continuously drop shooting stars and get your ultimate fully recharged. But they said, "Oh no, that's intended."
Maybe it wasn't
interesting,
or maybe they just thought, okay, that's maybe too OP. We don't want a billion K parses on Rocco 2. Cicisch Order, okay, we kind of saw that earlier. Bone Shield, Bone Surge, Morph. Fixed an issue where the synergy of this morph was granting a damage shield larger than its stated. That's interesting.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Fixed an issue where this ability and its morphs were being considered damage over time instead of melee damage in some cases. What? I thought it was damage over time.
Yeah, that's melee, what? You know what, it's a burst, isn't it? It's not damage over time, it's just a burst, but I don't know.
I don't understand this. Again, I'm gonna have to ask, I guess. Alliance War, Support, Barrier. Fixed an issue where the visual effects for the shield would fail to persist if the original shield was refreshed. I don't know about you guys, but I think barrier is too strong.
Needs address.
I think it's a bit too strong.
When they changed it to 12, they should have reduced the shield size, I think, or made the duration shorter, but it's just way too strong.
Yeah, I don't know. For PvE, I think it's a bit too strong, but PvP, I'm not sure exactly.
I don't really have much of a barriers like really strong in PvP, but I'm not surprised that they're like I wouldn't have expected any changes to be made based on PvP usage of it.
Volendrung, I think this is a pretty big pain point. Pretty big pain point for PvPers. Volendrung, what the fuck? What's going on with it? It feels like it's a zerging tool more than it is to combat a zerg or an imp. The fact that imps can use it, right? I'm pretty fucking sure still.
You cannot pick it up if you are imp, but if you're holding it when you get crowned,
then you can use it.
Can have it.
So it's like,
and there's nothing preventing the imp can be running next to his hammer buddy.
Right.
Yep. And the other real problem is that there's supposed to be like timers on it, but there basically aren't. So
yeah, the timers are really inconsistent and
for like 3 hours, and then that's just like, what's the point of playing?
And I've seen cases where someone is actually killed while holding the hammer, reses at a keep, and retains the hammer. It travels back to the keep with them.
Yeah, it's super.
They're still holding it.
I have opinions that are biased, but like people generally don't like the hammer because it just is another tool that causes lag to congregates everyone in one spot again, which is not great.
Oh man, but they increase the damage. I mean, they didn't really address the issues.
There's nothing about actually fixing the issues.
The spawn
it just
points and all that shit. So
spawn points could be useful. They did mention spawn points? No, they did not, right?
Not sure.
No, just increase some damage and decreased other damage.
So the only one that really matters a ton there is Ruinous Cyclone, which is the ultimate, and gonna do like 12k instead of 14k per tick, which is a big deal, but like the rest of them are like you're still gonna basically one-shot most people.
Won't suck anyone through walls anymore, at least, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice. Still, like the hammer needs some
work.
Not even like the actual like skill line itself, but the way that it's being used in the game is not enjoyable for pretty much everyone except for the person who is using it and maybe like one or two of their friends who are helping them use it to maximum effectiveness. So
also, doesn't all of it like scale off of weapon crit randomly, like not stam or weapon damage? It's all on crit.
It's very weird. I don't know that for sure, but it's like it's just a weird system. I think the things they need to focus on are when it spawns, who can pick it up, like how long it lasts.
Yeah, honestly, I think the biggest thing would be if they could just get the timer to work correctly.
Yeah, like
it despawned after half an hour instead of after 4 hours.
Versus that would, 4 hours.
Yeah,
that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
But hopefully they address that. Maybe, I don't know, another PTS incremental or something. Another review post.
Maybe it's farther down. We didn't get to it. Like maybe that's just like the skill line itself and not the. We'll see, I guess.
All right, itemization and item sets updated. Okay, we actually saw this earlier. Consumables fixed an issue where poisons that dealt damage would inconsistently apply the poison status effect when compared to other dot effects. They will now all properly have a 3% chance to apply the status per tick. Fixed an issue where poisons could not use your highest crit strike chance. Okay. Attempting to drink a potion while unable to drink no longer plays a sound effect that you actually drink the potion, since you didn't. Fixed an issue where some poisons or proc effects are required a potion to be consumed. Okay.
It was proccing the Nightblade passive that generated ulti.
That's really weird. Okay. Item sets. Okay, I think item sets have been a pretty topic of interest for us in particular, I think. I think because they also mentioned the update 25 comment review thing that they're going to be looking at item sets. So Affliction, fix an issue where this set will apply Minor Defile and have a 15% chance to apply the Diseased. It will now always apply the Diseased status effect instead, since the debuff applies Minor Defile already.
This is actually
Makes sense.
let me see. Technically, it's a buff, except for against Argonians, in which case it is making the set useless.
Yeah.
So if you're fighting all Argonians, then you're screwed. But
Argonians are back.
Argonians best in slot.
Okay. Archmage. The set now properly triggers off restoration heavy attacks. I'm going to assume full heavy attacks. Ashen Grip. This set no longer forces your character into an animation, potentially getting stuck or displaying odd behaviors. And this is a craftable set. Fix an issue where this set didn't properly trigger off all melee attacks. Remove the 10% proc chance and increase the damage on activate to 5k from 1000. Okay, so they're making an effort.
Pretty big buff.
Yeah, they're making
That's
an
like
effort.
a 2-piece crafted set, isn't it? Like a two trait.
Yeah, 2 trait.
Yep.
So it's one of the first ones that's available.
Yeah, the 5-piece is really potent. The only thing I'm surprised that they didn't do is make the 2, 3, 4 not related to stamina, but whatever. Like it's health, weapon damage, and weapon critical, and then doing fire damage. But okay.
Auroran's done there. Decrease the damage per tick to some irrelevant number because it's whatever.
Yeah, that's a tiny change.
Briar Heart. This set no longer has a hidden 1-second cooldown on the heal, but the heal has been decreased by half, or almost half. Increase the weapon damage bonus of the set to 450 from 449 for a prettier number. Okay, Gilliam. Increase the proc. You know what that was him. Increase the proc chance to 25%, up from 10%. Okay, I mean I
think that's a decent change.
That's good.
That's
pretty good.
That's
like it's
hidden. The cooldown removal is actually pretty cool. I'll have to see. I used to use Briar Heart a lot. It's sometimes a controversial set because there are better sets, but there's nothing like it's as strong as Hunding's basically. Once you count in the cooldown, and it heals you. So
that's a cool change.
Yeah,
like there are probably builds that will benefit from that more than others, like Templars with dots or something. I don't know.
All right. Paw of Yonikrin bug fix with Trifocus passive. Okay, Clever Alchemist. Increase the duration of the bonus to 20 seconds from 15 seconds. Increase the weapon and spell damage bonus to 675, so that's a 14.
So they buffed it
Another
a
deal
bit.
change.
I think that makes sense. I think this set lost popularity when you couldn't use it as consistently out of combat.
Yeah. Let's see. Curse Eater. Fixed an issue where the set would fail to proc off ultimates or man wounds. This set now has an 8-second cooldown per target.
Per target.
Whoa. Okay. Increase the magic restore to 678, up from 600. Fix an issue where the set share the cooldown with Standard's Embrace. So the target thing.
That's something that I had proposed like a year ago because it would help make it so that it's not useless in groups.
Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting set for sure.
I think it's really strong now. I think it was pretty much useless unless you're solo before, and now it could be really good.
Well, definitely gonna try it out myself. Let's see. Curse of Doilimesh. I can't never pronounce his name.
Doilimesh.
It's not Doilimesh because it's like the Y is not before the never mind. Whatever. The Curse of Do. Alright, the set now applies properly applies on fear targets. Reduce the cooldown to 4 seconds now from 7 seconds. Increase the damage on whatever. I don't know.
Clearly Gilliam was not involved in that one, or it would just be
I know it's
it
like
wouldn't have an extra 7.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, here's Gilliam here, and here's somebody else here. Alright. Darlock Bray. Fix an issue where this set could activate while shield wall response were active. Destructive Mage. This set's explosion. This is a one of the old trial sets. This set's explosion can now be triggered by any heavy attack rather than only allies. Interesting.
Okay.
Reduce the cooldown.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that means.
So the Destructive Mage set was you can put like a bomb
Yeah, but like
target?
what heavy attack is your enemy gonna get hit by that isn't?
Your own.
Oh, is that what it's saying?
Like, yeah, by
you
anybody, including yourself.
You couldn't proc it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you needed people to heavy attack. So
okay,
this is
that
going
makes
to be
sense,
interesting, I think. Reduce the cooldown of the application of the set to 4 seconds, down from 10 seconds. Decrease the damage, however, to some weird number. Again, not Galen probably. Down from 7,500, so almost 1,000 damage.
I'm wondering if like overload works with this, maybe. Like I don't. That's interesting.
I don't know.
It's a group play set for sure, still, but
I mean, if you're doing 6,500 damage every 4 seconds with the heavy attacks, and if it works with like overload heavies or something, that's a lot of damage done every 4 seconds. And it's an AoE explosion. Like there's depending on how it plays out, there's some potential there.
I think this could see some use in trash for trials.
I was thinking Zynode's easy Sork.
Okay, anyway, let's go. Dune Ripper's scales. Fixed an issue where the set would not activate. Okay, whatever. Elfbane. Fixed an issue where the set wasn't properly applying to some tooltips. Okay, increase the duration of the set to 5 seconds. Thank the fucking gods.
Long time.
I mean, that's better than what it was, in my opinion.
Elfbane?
Yeah, Elfbane.
That's nuts.
That's increases the duration of fire abilities, right?
By
Wait,
5 seconds.
Elfbane.
3 seconds.
Elfbane works on
Zon,
doesn't it? So that's gonna make Zon's proc like twice as long.
That'd be very interesting.
It's that's insane, actually. Zon's already.
People are gonna have to test that out. It's like on a mag decay or something, especially.
That's 10 seconds of Zon. That makes Zon have over a 50% uptime if you have like good proc chance on it.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I mean,
and especially since Zon gets stronger every tick, like that final tick is gonna be insane.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the other one? Grothdar is. You could have 100% uptime on Grothdar with this set, so.
It's gonna be a really interesting set to play around with for sure, for both PvP and PvE. Engine Guardian. Okay. Just issues, just fucking bug fixes. Essence Thief.
Fixed an issue where it would leave the mortal realm if you entered water.
This set now procs off lighter heavy attacks instead of only light attacks. Okay, fixed an issue. I really don't like this set, especially in PvP. It's like
Essence Thief is just it's always one that people, especially newer players, will look and be like, "Oh, this sounds good. It's gonna help my sustain," and then it's like actually garbage.
It's overtuned by like the proc, like what you receive, but I find it really hard to get those. Which again, maybe just, that's what they want. So.
All right, Eternal Hunt. Fixed an issue where the set was considered damage over time instead of direct damage. Like the AoE at least behind?
Galarian's Revenge.
Oh, okay.
What is that set again? Is that a crafted set?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know what that...
Add spell crit, magicka recovery, spell damage. When you deal damage with a light or heavy attack, you put a mark of revenge on the enemy for 15 seconds. After stacking 6 marks on an enemy, they detonate for currently 4,730 magic damage.
So they're reducing it by 1 stack. Increases, that's a pretty hefty increase in damage. And they added a 1 second cooldown to applying stacks. Okay.
Still not as good as like Galarian's or something, which is just going to be more damage up front. But...
Okay, Ice Furnace. It's a pretty old set. This set no longer requires direct damage with a proc chance to trigger. Interesting. And they gave it a little damage increase. The set no longer requires direct damage with a proc chance to trigger.
That's a huge deal, actually. Yeah. Like, whether you like the set or not, it used to be only on direct damage. And so, basically, the only things that could do that are, like, Force, Pulse, Crushing Shock, and like the initial ticks of dots. So this is actually like a pretty big deal. Still probably not best in slot, but could be cool, I guess.
A lot of people have been, for like the past few years, really wanting to play with the set, but I think this No longer requires direct damage with proc chance trigger is gonna be interesting for sure.
If you have like, it's a high proc chance, so like if you have a lot of dots, that's gonna be good damage done. So,
yeah. Ice Heart fixed an issue where the set was considered direct damage instead of dots. What?
okay.
Okay. Infallible Mage fixed an issue where this set's damage amp was not properly applied to all heavy attacks. So it's a useless set now. Like Infallible Aether is
dead.
It's dead.
It's
completely
fully dead now.
I don't know why they've been bothered.
It's a bummer.
with this. Because like you have Wardens, you have Nightblades. It's like it's fucking useless, especially for PvE. Inferno Guardian. This set now procs when you apply a damage shield ability on yourself or an ally.
It's kind of a meme, I guess.
Yeah.
Cooldown's still really high, so like if you're playing a shield-based class, like what DK? What's the point?
No clue. I don't know. Lecky's Focus. Okay. It now grants major evasion rather than a unique buff. That's... Remove the healing reductions from the set. Reduce the penalty from area effect damage to 15% down from 25%.
This actually could be pretty viable, honestly.
Oh my god, no fucking way. Look at this. Molag
Kena's
Kena.
pretty big.
Yeah, that's a huge reduction. Reduced the cost increase penalty.
Holy moly.
8% from 20%.
That's crazy.
That's fucking like...
That's basically New Moon in a two-piece.
Yeah, I mean, where false gods are VO or whatever, and that's completely negated.
Alright, Master Marina, here we go. This is going to be really interesting to see. I think, I mean, a lot of DPS and... Well, Mag DPS specifically are wearing, like, 2 spell crit pieces. I'm really curious what this is how this is gonna play out. I think you can definitely sustain this in trials with an 8% cost increase penalty instead of a 20% increase cost penalty. Oh, got so much to test. Merkholden.
Yeah.
This set now properly mentions its cooldown in the tooltip. Fixed an issue where the light attack from the set was snare enemies. Fixed an issue where the damage dealt was highly inconsistent. Remove the proc chance from the item set. Okay, so the removal of the proc chance is probably the biggest one for this one. It's a pretty cool set, but I don't know if I would still use it in PvP or something. Prisoner's Rag, fixed an issue. Robes of the Hist, or Hist. Fixed an issue where the set would fail to properly activate against snares under certain circumstances. Skating Mage, this is a pretty big one because this was specifically mentioned in the was it Rich or Matt? I think it was Rich's post for update 25. This set no longer considers the first tick of each damage over time as direct damage. This set no longer requires critical strikes to proc. Reduce the duration and cooldown to 5 seconds from 6 seconds.
It's a big deal.
That's a pretty big fucking deal.
So scathing is going to be...
It doesn't even need crit strikes either. Like,
it's gonna have 100% uptime, right? Like it's just saying get 516 spell damage, right?
Is it still a chance to proc though on direct damage?
20%.
Yeah, there's
20% on direct damage.
Yeah, there's But
again,
it doesn't have to be a
the crit
doesn't have to be a crit. It just has to be
direct damage.
Oh. But that's every light attack. Pretty much. Shadow of the Red Mountain. Updated tooltip for this set to better represent its proc condition. Okay, Sheer Venom. Pretty old set as well from Imperial City DLC. Fixed an issue where the set would fail to proc from any tick of poison injections damage over time. That's interesting. Increased the damage by 1200 or 1400. Wait, no,
it's kind of
1200. Sorry.
It's not great, but people use it.
Yeah, because it's not like a burst of 9k. It's like a over time.
At least it's an improvement, sort of. Stormmaster fixed an issue where the set would fail to proc off overload. despite it being thematically appropriate to do so. Increase the damage by 300-ish or 200-ish. Fixed an issue where the damage done was considered a projectile rather than direct. Looks like a lot of these sets were not properly working, or the system wasn't recognized what was going on, I guess, with the interaction between the player's skills or actions and the item systems. Also, this overhaul is actually looking pretty good.
I'm glad that they're pointing back to it.
Yeah, I felt like there's this disconnect between when Roble was in charge and now it's the new combat dev team in charge. It's like they're sort of going back to where Roble was and just like untangling this like knot whatever happened back then. That's what I'm getting the sense of. That they're cleaning it up now.
I'm all for them going back and fixing things that were originally not working so hot and working on performance and stuff rather than introducing more load. Personally,
oh yeah, for sure. I think a lot of players will agree with that too, because like people want to use these craftables as people want to use the sets that they think are interesting, but those sets are half the time not even, if they weren't even properly working, then it's a pretty big issue. Let's see. Dues of the Harbinger. The set now deals damage based on 6% of your max health rather than 4% of your current health. The set continues to deal damage regardless of range from the attacker.
Why would they? So they effectively nerf the other sources of reflect, but not this, which is again like why there's so it's so inconsistent. But
Tormentor. This set now properly works with explosive charge. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, Templar Tank with Tormentor. Valken Scoria fixed an issue where this set could proc off other procs. Okay, I think this is a pretty big one too, especially for PvP. I think, yeah, a lot of people were telling me about this, actually.
It happens. I mean, I guess if you're running a dot set and it procs it, people might be unhappy. I guess.
Olarime. Cici's gonna like this one. Fixed an issue where the set would trigger off siege weapons.
Because I was totally running Olarime in PvP. Big concern of mine.
Alright, Vycosa. The set now reduces the enemy... Okay, this is an interesting one. Reduces the enemy spell weapon power by up to 268 instead of playing... Okay.
So it's now a non-main.
Okay. I see where you're going with this. Fuckers.
Gotta sell your DLC!
Oh my god. Okay. Increase the duration to 8 seconds. Okay, so this is like half of mending, right? Pretty sure mending is like 400 something. And infused weakening is... Yeah, and infused weakening enchant is like a bit higher than mending. So it's basically half of mending. Or almost half.
Looks like
over
it's
half
now
of
got
mending.
66% uptime now.
Yeah, they did reduce the cooldown. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this one. I really don't. Because then... I guess major main from one set, like what 2 pieces, I guess, in their eyes, too strong.
I guess.
But I don't think a lot of people were using this in PvP. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, pretty much 0% of the people using it.
So it's basically, I don't know what the fuck's going on over here. I guess they're trying to just sell the other set now.
Yep. That'd be my interpretation of that one.
Well, it's kind of shitty because they did a lot of work on this set, from what I recall. Like, it didn't work.
Yeah.
There was a different proc requirement, and then they went through a lot of shit to get it working with Bash, and now they're just completely getting rid of it. Or not getting rid of the proc condition, but rather the major main component. I don't know. I don't think I'd rather... I don't think I'll ever use this now for either a Southern Sanctorium Armament or Navi. I'd probably wear something else, like Symphony or Lord Warden or Shudan or something. I don't know. But it's really weak compared to Mending or Infused Weakening. I don't know. It's worth a try, I guess. Next patch, maybe. Way of Fire, updated tooltip, Wild Impulse, fixed an issue where the set's damage over time cannot stack for multiple players. Wilder Queen's Arch. Yeah, fixed an issue where the snare would stack with other snares. Wrath of the Imperium, fixed an issue where the set was not properly granting its bonus to all 3 hits of Force Shock and its morphs. Okay, so general thoughts or feelings about the item set changes?
The one that I missed was Wilder Queen. That actually is a pretty big deal. Most people didn't really know much about it, but you could have anywhere from 70 to 90%, 95% snares on people. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. I think that in general, the fixes are awesome. Making ones that were garbage less garbage is awesome. I think the only one that I kind of am like confused about is Vicosa. I feel like that was a weird change. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
And Molag Kena sounds nuts.
Yeah,
the Molag Kena is the most significant, I think.
Let's see how the parse monkeys figure that one out. Let's do like the rest of the server and wait for
I'd be curious how
Lyco to like get everything figured.
I'd be curious to see how, like, especially on Sork, a Force Pulse build with Wrath of the Imperium stacks up against Willpower now.
Oh man, I think Mag DK is gonna be fucking busted in PvE with Molag Kena.
It's gonna be be crazy strong.
Oh god. Okay. Alright. My favorite part, Battlegrounds. You can now only queue as a solo player to Battlegrounds. Well, it was nice playing with you guys. CC never came to my Battlegrounds group. Thanks, CC. I guess we'll never have the opportunity to do so.
Guess not.
I know a lot of people are gonna be really upset about that.
Reset the Battleground matchmaking. Okay, there's resetting the MMR for Battlegrounds, which is interesting. I guess it's because the whole solo queue thing. This is a big change to Battlegrounds matchmaking, which we are executing partially in response to player feedback and partially as an experiment. We recognize the change will prevent players from being able to reliably team up with friends in Battlegrounds, but it should also improve both the speed of matchmaking and the competitiveness of PvP. I don't know about the competitiveness part. As part of the change, we're resetting the MMR of all players, so going forward, the system more properly evaluates individuals based on their performance in the solo queue. We'll be closely monitoring both player feedback and the impact of these changes on the system. Yeah, just like how they're closely monitoring the impact of the changes of the multi-bidding. Alright, thoughts on this one? I don't know about this one.
I think it's going to be very divisive.
Yeah,
I think...
I don't know.
If you want to play with one friend casually, it sucks, right? Like, this is an MMO, and you want to play with your friends, right? Like, if it's too laggy in Cyrodiil, or you don't like going in Cyrodiil, and you liked going in BGs with your buddy, and you are both people who are brand new to the game, you can't do that anymore, and you have to solo queue, and that kind of sucks. If you were playing at high tier MMRs, and you ran into a 4-man pre-made, that sucks too. I think this is a cool attempt at trying something new. I think that if they find that the queues are better, or if the gameplay is more healthy, maybe trying another, like, this doesn't have to be the end thing, right? This is a test, and maybe it's 2. Maybe 2 is the best, right? I don't know.
Why is there not a group queue and a solo queue? Why does there only have to be one?
Exactly. Let's move on to the art and animation, my favorite part of the patch notes. I guess we're just gonna skip this part because I just skimmed it. And it's like whatever.
This is where I stop reading usually.
Well, I mean, there's some interesting stuff below this part, like combat and gameplay for monsters. And there's also fixed an issue where objects between the camera and your character could be selected, rather than objects under the cursor between your character and in front of you. This will improve precision targeting. That's pretty cool. Alright, monsters. So this is a pretty important part for PvE because a lot of people are caught off guard because they don't read these part of patch notes when they suddenly see like Clan Fears jumping now. Shit. But let's see. Bruiser, okay, Foot Soldier, Harpy, whatever, Healer, Spriggan, World Bosses, whatever. Crafting Economy, please say something about the multi-building. Okay, they didn't say anything about the multi-building. That's pretty fucked up.
How many guilds are gonna have to go under for them to do something about it?
How many guilds have gone under on NA? Like just NA. Like I know on EU,
fact
I've
that
heard of at least 7.
Mournhold, Ralka guilds, it's crazy.
Like I don't know. See, that's the thing. That's why I was mentioning earlier when they were like, "We'll be monitoring player feedback and the impact of the what is it, BGs."
But they haven't done it.
And then they said the same thing for multi-bidding, and every single guild, doesn't matter how small, how large, what medium size, or what kind of trade guild it is, and every guild officer, every guild master has said, "We don't like this. This is not a quality of life change," and they haven't done anything about it. And here they don't say anything about it either. How many on NA have folded? Hasn't Angry Unicorn Traders folded?
Yeah, Angry Unicorns folded. I think did Shatner's fold?
I think Shatner's stopped. Yeah, I think at least 2 other guilds I know of personally have.
Black Dragon Apothecary.
Okay.
And then today they have an EU dupe glitch again, where it puts the onus on the player to not move their gold around versus just like not having that be a problem. And like I know that's a smaller issue, but that's
a huge issue. That
sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. The first time it happened was the first time the multi-bidding system went into effect for EU, and you had billions and billions and billions of fucking duplicated gold everywhere. And I just don't understand why they haven't said anything about this. Anything. Something. But I don't know. It's pretty fucked up that they didn't say anything about that under crafting economy. But they did say something about Counter-Strike crown grades. Okay, so let's move on. Dungeons, group content, probably a lot of nerfs because apparently people can't clear Fallen Grotto 1. Let's see.
No, I'm serious. They added a whole bunch of things for when you die to a Fungal Grotto 1 boss.
Okay. Oh,
wow,
that's interesting.
They did.
That's crazy.
Spawn of Mephala, Vaults of Madness, Wallenfeld, Exploiting. Okay, I guess that's pretty much it, except the housing stuff.
The Dragon Star beams of light work again, I guess. You don't just wiggle at the bottom.
They added confetti to the Dubious Cameron Throne.
Wait, where does it say that?
Collectibles added confetti to Dubious Cameron Throne to better match the theme of the Jester's Festival event.
Oh, there's a collectible called Dubious I thought you were talking about the drink.
I have no idea what they're even talking about here.
It's probably the drink art.
Wow.
UI. Okay, that's the end of the patch
notes. It's no longer shiny.
That is the end of the patch notes. Yeah. So general thoughts about the patch notes, in summary, I guess.
I'll expect people to be mad that they don't have their own insert my class updates and fixes and buffs. I think the sets are cool to update. I think the new sets are possibly crazy or good. I like that they're focusing on performance stuff.
Yeah, I think performance should definitely be a primary concern for not just them as a game, but as a company for sure. Because it's been pretty bad. A lot of players going elsewhere. That wasn't an elsewhere pun.
Yeah, I mean, if New World didn't bomb itself pre-launch, that would have been a huge deal too. There's a pretty nice UI change actually. The first one under UI. Elder Scrolls Online tax bar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Because everyone always autos when they're queued up for a dungeon and shit. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. What else is here? Oh man, dude. Tooltips for Crown Crate rewards can now be viewed from the reward cards.
I was really worried about that.
Okay, guilds and guild functionality. Fixed an issue with a show more keybind, okay, would not display on the guild history. Does that mean we're going to see more than 10 days? I don't think so. Fixed an issue where the unit price would be wrong for a guild, okay? Fixed an issue. Okay. And that's pretty much it. That's the end of the patch notes. That's the end of the patch notes. CC and Reborn, what do you think about the patch notes?
I think it's a lot of them.
I think for a dungeon update, this is a lot to go through.
I think it's a lot of it. There's so many set changes and stuff, and that just takes a long time to read through.
I think
I'm really curious how some of the sets are gonna change PvE meta, if any. I mean, I definitely foresee Elfbane becoming meta on Mag DK. There's just that's so strong.
5 seconds.
I don't know about Elfbane on Mag DK because like the whole Molag Kena thing, you need False God, right? And right now the Asylum / Willpower setup or Mother Sorrow setup is pretty strong. I'm not sure if Elfbane, potentially maybe he could replace. He could replace either of those setups, but I'm not sure about Elfbane.
If you have more combustion procs, do you need False God? If you have 5 more seconds of ticks, I don't know.
That's something we definitely have to test for sure.
Right, because if Zon is ticking 5 more times, that's 5 more chances for combustion to proc.
Well, and there's no cooldown on combustion, right?
No.
No.
So.
Oh man, I think probably the biggest thing for me personally is probably the 30 gigs. So in this, we didn't really talk about it. It's supposed to like improve everything. Well, not everything, but like improve some stuff. The 30 gigabytes being gone, so I'm looking forward to that personally.
Yep, that's a huge deal too.
Is the PTS back up yet? I'm still working on installing.
It's down. It's not up yet.
I'm still at 17%. See you in 2 years.
19%.
That says 22, but it is applying patch now. So.
Oh, rip.